What's going on, guys? Drone worship in your face. Couple things I wanted to go over. You read the title, so we are going to talk about that. I want to talk about the partnership thing that I offered Hubsan, okay? Because they're on Chinese holiday right now, so don't feel like your efforts that you guys put in were, meaningless. All right? I don't expect to hear back from them for a little while. I would guess any kind of procedure they're going through would probably take easily a month, maybe a month and a half. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. I spoke with Kevin. Kevin did return an email to me saying that he forwarded it to whoever it needed to go to get, checked out and see if I meet the criteria and qualifications that they're looking for. But so that's not, like I said, it's not stalled. It's just that's kind of where it's at right now while they're on holiday and doing things. I kind of chose a bad time to push it, but then again I didn't because it's going to get a lot of views. It's at almost 3,000 views, so it's doing pretty good. And it's got over 250 comments, which is crazy. You guys really reached out. That was awesome. Mr. Ragnar, who's on the 501S group on Facebook, put out a video about toilet bowl, but I noticed it didn't get watched a whole lot. So I know that a lot of you guys follow me, and the more I thought about it, the more I realized I probably should have put this video out a while ago, because I'm sure a lot of people have tried to fix their problem with firmware. Thinking that it was the issue, but we're going to talk about that today. So basically what I have in front of me is the 501S, okay? And I'm going to tell you what basically causes toilet bowl so you guys know how to correct it next time, okay? Now some of you that live in lower declination, like magnetic declination areas, Brazil, stuff like that, you guys may still run into toilet bowl a lot more often than us because your compass calibrations won't be as accurate. That's why they came out with 1.1.23 and some of these other ones designed for those low declination areas. I think 1.6.25 is designed to help with that as well. But anyways, let's talk about this. So what causes toilet bowl? What causes it to do this circular thing and then get worse and worse, and then you completely lose control of it and it crashes? Okay, if you can land it before it gets to that point, obviously you should do that. The main thing that it really comes back to is a bad compass calibration. You were either too quick with it, there was something, magnetic around you that was throwing off the compass bearing properly, your keys were in your pocket, your cell phone was too close to it, you did it on the ground as opposed to lifting it up. There's just many reasons why a compass calibration would go haywire. So the best thing to do is always grab your quad like this, take it by the back, and make sure it's completely level in the area that you're at, and do your full, I call it the compass dance, do your full turn with it as steady as you can. Don't go fast, go slow. The compass calibration is basically the most important part of setting your quad up before you take off. Make sure you do this properly. For those of you that are like, oh, well, I don't want to have to do the compass calibration every time, it will save your quad. Okay, the majority of the time, this is one of the necessity things to do to a quad when you take it out. And you want to do it as smooth as butter cakes. Just keep it nice and smooth. Do your full rotation. As soon as they turn green, the reason I hold it like this is because then you can just drop it like that and put your thumbs on it and make sure it's completely level and do the next turn until the lights turn off. Set it down. Give it time to calculate. Don't just take off because you have 8 satellites. Let it have time to figure out its compass bearing, its position on the map. Give it time to think. Okay, don't just be like, okay, we got 8 satellites, let's just take off. Those are how flyaway happens. That's how issues start. Give your quad a chance to triangulate its position properly and do what it needs to do before you take off. I normally wait for 10 satellites or 12 satellites, depending on the area. If it took a long time to connect to GPS, I'll give it a couple extra minutes just to make sure that it's got a good position lock before I take off. So that is toilet bowl in essence. So when people are like, well, firmware may correct your situation if you're in a place with low declination magnetics. Okay, like Brazil or somewhere in the southern hemisphere. Yes, firmware may be able to assist you with your problem. But for the majority of the people that live in the States, okay, changing your firmware because you're having a lot of toilet bowl issues is not really going to solve your problem. A good, steady, well-done compass calibration dance is exactly what is needed, okay? So if you ever take off and it's doing this little spin thing, stop. Just land it. Disconnect it, redo your compass calibration. Lift it up off the ground, get it away from the ground, grab it nice and steady by the back, and just do nice slow rotations as level as possible. Okay? That's what I can say about that. You know, I know like I said, Rancor or Ragnar, I can't even pronounce his name. He's Peter on the H501S forum. You know, he did the video, and I just noticed it just wasn't watched that much, and I knew that a lot of you guys followed me, and I figured it was probably time to cover this. The other question I've been getting a lot of is TOD fixed. For those of you who don't know what TOD is, it's Tumble of Death. I know that some of the earlier versions came with TOD. I try not to fly this aggressively, so I really can't be honest with you guys. I really can't tell you if TOD has been fixed. Tumble of Death was a horrible thing that Hubsan was going through, and I know that everyone was just like, yo, don't fly an altitude hold. It'll just drop out of the sky when it gets to a certain angle, and just that'll be the end of it. You know, I try not to fly it too aggressive just because I like to save my motors. Everyone always asks, why don't you have jello in your videos? You know why? Because I don't beat my quad up. I don't take it out and fly it super hard and wear the bearings in. And it's an aerial bird. That's basically was its destination, was to be an aerial bird. It wasn't really designed for aggressive, heavy flying. Now, I know some of you people do it, and some of you are going to disagree. Okay, but in my head, its design, the way it functions, is more or less designed for aerial photography. Okay, now I know that some of you can get pretty smooth footage with altitude hold. But as long as, like, and this is what it comes back to for me, as long as you guys aren't flying aggressively, okay, like super, super aggressive, pushing the quad to its, you know, craziest extent possible, banking as hard as you can, swinging it, trying to do barrel rolls, you know, you should be fine. Now, I know they have I think it's a D7 editing program, so you guys can change all the, basically your protocols if you want to on how pitch, angle, roll factor, you know, affect it, but I would not suggest that for everybody. That's how, unless you really know what you're doing, I would not suggest people try to use that program unless you've got a good teacher or you already know what you're doing in a sense, to adjust things. So, Hubsan, if you're listening, once again, I'm going to get on your butt about this. Please fix the return to home issue. Okay, please. I want it to come back at me. I'm sick of it coming backwards. You know, I know somebody was saying, well, due to the place where the GPS is connected, we have to do it backwards. I don't want to hear that. You are a tech team. Let's technically figure this out. It's time to get this. You could do it with the 502E. You can't do it with the 501S. That makes no sense. Let's get on that. Let's turn this around and have it come back, right? Properly. I've got another boat coming. You know, people keep asking me why I'm not buying quads right now. I'm honestly, guys, I'm waiting for something to happen with a partnership. I've reached out to GearBest. They were like, oh, you need 10,000 subscribers. I reached out to Banggood. I need at least 7,000 subscribers before they'll even consider me. And, you know, I can't just buy quads. I've had a bunch of people like, oh, get the Mavic Pro. I want to see that review. It's like, that's an expensive drone. That's not, you know, as I told everybody last time, I make $10 an hour, plus a little Google AdSense revenue from my videos. That's the extent of it. I buy stuff when I can. That's how I do this. You know, and right now, like I said, I'm still waiting to do my transmission. I have a tax return coming, and I've got enough saved up that I think I can accomplish that. So I've just been doing small things to get by. If I didn't have to buy a transmission, I might buy 6 drones, you know, at all different price points with the tax return I had. But unfortunately, guys, it's not really in the books. It's I have a necessity, and I have life that I have to live, and I need a car to do that. And my car, unfortunately, is in need of a transmission. So I have to make choices for me. As I can buy things, I do buy them. I know someone was like, please test the H509 or the H109, and I was like, that's $450, almost $500. You know, that's probably not something I'm going to go after. Sounds like the mail person's trying to give me something at the door. So this is Drone Worship, and I'm out. Toodaloo.